it's early. I gotta go. However, and I can't even do a live reaction because I was spoiled. But this chapter, this is it. This was it. I didn't plan on doing a face cam thing today. I wanted to just do a voiceover and then, read the Viz on Sunday. This chapter, this is something I can get behind. And, okay, it said we were going back to the present. No, we got some more of the flashback, or at least it seemed like, well, it was more the flashback because we got Oden's thoughts and different things Oden did before he died. And I absolutely love it. I made a video about the flashback already, but this absolutely added to it. But I think it more so added to Oden's character. So I haven't made an Oden character analysis video, so this goes great with it. It adds so much to Oden for me. And I think these small moments were what we were missing from just being engulfed in the Wano or the Oden storyline. I wanted to see how you were as a father, as a friend, just how you interacted outside of the major moments. And man, I enjoyed it. I got spoiled, right, on the Dendro stuff. The Dendro stuff and the Witching Hour Boy stuff. Got spoiled on that. And I was like, okay, that must be the focus of the chapter because everyone's talking about it. Okay, but what's next? What else? What else is there to look forward to from this chapter? And maybe I still could have done a live reaction. That's how good this chapter was. But okay, let's try to take it from the top. I'm going to try to be as concise as possible, and then we'll have a discussion later this evening. I'll put the link in the description for the discussion, and this is a live discussion, by the way. And we'll talk about different things that transpired in this chapter. But for right now, let's start from the top. Oden's moments with his kids, his Scabbards, his friends, his crew. I wanted more of that. That's what I wanted. I wanted to see that side of Oden. Of course, we knew it existed, but seeing him play with Momo, talk about women, and then him talking to Hiyori about her playing her instrument, him talking to the Scabbards about Zoe, him farting in the water, it seems like, and making Hiyori cry, then blaming Momo, and then they're like, well, it was you, and he's like, oh yeah, well, I guess it was. Just masterful moments to kind of round out Oden's character. It changes the narrative a lot, I think. Because at first, people felt like Oden was going on his journey and his family was tagging along. And Toki was just there tagging along. This makes it seem like it was a family trip. They embraced it as family time together. Like everything Oden was doing, his family was right there alongside with him. Of course, when they went to different islands and stuff, Oden was there, if the family can't go. But it seemed like they all enjoyed being around each other. Obviously, Oden was preparing them for the worst. After finding the One Piece and knowing certain things, telling them about Zoe, and then, saying, hey, when it's time, that's where you'll go. And like, what do you mean? What do you mean when it's time? He's like, well, when it's time, you'll know. Just go to Zoe, right? God, I love Oden more after this chapter. But I've been talking about the escape from Kaido for a while, saying that a lot of things had to happen past the Oden death. Because at some point, Ashura Doji and Denjiro, they ended up together. Everyone ended up inside the castle. The castle was going to be burned. But okay, let's talk about certain things in this chapter. I think this chapter was perfect for me. A perfect chapter. A perfect chapter. Just everything I loved about it. But certain things, I was like, But then it's more to it. It's just not face value stuff. We'll get to it. Loved the Shinobu and Kinemon moment. And again, I talked about it in the last chapter, saying that Shinobu, I really enjoy her character now. Even though she was very flat and very basic and very annoying when we first got introduced to her, now I really enjoy her. And it's weird with Shinobu because it seemed like she was a competent kunoichi back then, or ninja, whatever the hell you want to call her. And now it seems like she's not really good at all, but it seems like she was really good. So over the years, I guess that's what she became. Maybe she's been rusty. I mean, obviously, she's gained weight, so you're not as good as you were in your prime. But man, that was a beautiful moment. Her asking if she's a Scabbard. He's like, well, we all didn't have homes to return to. So it depends on what you feel in your heart. And I felt that from Shinobu after the things Oden did for her and the sacrifices, not sacrifices, but the speech she gave to the people about Oden. So it kind of felt so real for me from Shinobu. So this moment amplifies it. Inarashi and Nekomamushi, we find out the reason why they were fighting. I mean, it was heavily hinted that it was more than likely because of Oden, But now they're blaming each other for Oden's death. And somebody conspicuously that was right there telling them to relax is Raizo. And the person that they risked their lives, lost limbs for, was Raizo. I'm really starting to think Raizo is the traitor. They even mention it. They say, are you the traitor that they were talking about? And it would be an Oda thing to do, to have them talk about the traitor, then have the traitor right there telling them to relax and calm down. I really believe the traitor is Raizo. The numbers make an appearance in silhouette form. We saw them before when they were walking up, when it was the festival going on with Kaido and Apu and all those guys there. So the numbers, they're going to be a major part of this war to come. We don't know what they are. It seems to be like beasts, and obviously they have the numbers, they have the jacks and the kings and all that. So it's a card theme, I suppose. I saw something the other day talking about Kaido is a liquor, and that's what it could be in Japanese. I don't know about that. For right now, it's the card game with Jinrami and all that different stuff. But then we see Ashura Doji and Denjiro, how they got together. We didn't see Denjiro and Ashura Doji fight Kaido, but at least it makes sense now how they confronted Kaido together, because they stayed back because they had too many pursuers. But I think the thing that was highlighted there was that the numbers, they're going to be playing a major role in this upcoming battle, at least. As anticipated, King was the one who started a fire for the castle, and Kaido came up upon the castle, and he had Momonosuke in his clutches. This is slowly peeling back the layers of this, because this is how Kaido found out about Momonosuke and his name, and obviously told Doflamingo his name. But Kaido didn't kill Momo. Surface level, it seems like Kaido just didn't feel like it. Just kill him and burn him like his dad. If you look a bit deeper, it seems like for Kaido, Momo reminded him of Oden, and it seemed like Momo was reciting things that Oden had taught him. And so because of that, he said, you know what? I don't even want to do it. I'm just going to burn the kid. It could be viewed as compassion, could be viewed as honor. Still was going to kill him, but I was surprised that Kaido, well, we know he didn't die, but what makes the most sense is to kill him right there, drop him. That makes the most sense, because then you end the Kozuki bloodline. You end that. Kaido didn't do that. There's hope for Kaido yet, as far as a character. I think he's become more intriguing due to the flashback, but there's still more we have to learn about him. So I enjoyed this moment of conflict. Of course, you could criticize and say, well, if you had done that, all that wouldn't have happened. Momo would be dead. But no, I think this shows a deeper side to Kaido. That's how I'm looking at it. But to Lady Toki, now we have some substance behind her character. In my last video talking about the flashback, I was like, well, Toki, her statements, they were a bit weird, saying she does not know where she comes from. She's never been to Wano. Her parents are from Wano. And there was no information about the Void Sentry from Toki. But we see a conversation between Oden and Toki, and apparently Oden kind of felt that Toki was trying to find that day, that time when the world was turned over. That's what his assumption was. The truth is, Toki was trying to flee her destiny. So Toki growing up, she was chosen to do a certain deed. Maybe it was to sacrifice herself. But then she fled from the past 800 years ago to the present to run away from it. And it seemed like her doing that fell right in line with what was destined for her. So more than likely, there was a prophecy that Toki was supposed to follow. She ran away, right, by using her fruit, ended up somewhere, found Oden by chance, and then that ended up being right where she was supposed to be. Beautiful. Just beautiful. I love it. With this, Toki could be dead. She could be, but I'm still holding out hope that she's still alive. It just doesn't seem like the end. It's looking like she burned herself, and remember when Kaido knew about like the Scabbards or knew about Momonosuke in some way? It looks like one of Kaido's men, they heard Toki's speech saying the 9 Scabbards may be coming towards the sparkling dawn, the moon that does not know the dawn. It's like a very, one of those prophetic speeches. Like, this is to come, but nobody knows what she's talking about, so she sounds a little crazy, but it's soothing at the same time. If that's the end of Toki, it was a fitting end. Now we jump to Orochi. I guess this is the effect of his devil fruit, but he's in bath water, and he's asking them to boil it more. And the lady servant, she puts her hand in the water and just touches it, and her finger gets burned. So that water's already steaming hot. But again, Orochi at that point, he has a devil fruit, and so more than likely, that's why he can endure water that hot. I'm not sure if he's trying to test himself against Oden, because Oden got boiled in oil. But you're not there yet, Orochi. You got a long way to go before you get to the levels of heat that Oden was in as a regular person. We're assuming regular. I mean, I guess he was regular, but this nigga wasn't regular. We see Kawamatsu trying to cheer up Hiyori, and it makes sense that she's not going for it because her parents just died. But Kawamatsu, he's doing all he can to be there for Hiyori. We see Ashura Doji. And he's talking about the 20 years, and we know that he held out for that time. Became a bit bitter towards the end because of everything that was happening around him, but he held out. So for me, as far as the Scabbards, I'm ruling out Ashura Doji, ruling out Kinemon, ruling out Kawamatsu, Inarashi, Nekomamushi, Shinobu, definitely Izo and Kiku. I know people say Izo isn't a Scabbard, but they're obviously ruled out. Kanjuro, Raizo. Those two. Nothing significant from them after Oden passed. So we'll see, but those two, they're the ones we have to look out for and worry about. So the main event, the thing that we all wanted to talk about, Kyoshiro, being Denjiro and the Witching Hour Boy. Now, my favorite Scabbard for the longest time was Ashura Doji, like Kinemon, Shinobu, she jumped up for me. Inoneku, meh. It is now Denjiro. And my gosh, that man is amazing. In the past, when we saw the Oden flashback, Denjiro was just so affixed. Like, he was in love with Oden. And in love, not in a weird way, but he loved Oden. That was somebody he really looked up to. So for him, when he disappeared, it was like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, it wouldn't make sense for Denjiro to be Zoro's master because that's him running away. He cared so much about Oden. Even when they were burning, he was saying, yo, what are y'all talking about? He's burning. So I think for Denjiro being Kyoshiro and how it happened, that's crazy. Because he was so mad, so broken, so upset, so hurt. He secluded himself for years, it seems like. It doesn't say for how long, but after being in that shed, it looks like the Enma Shrine a little bit, where it seems like Hiyori was headed to. I'm not really sure. But his hair color changed. His eyes were always covered, so we didn't see them. And now thinking about it, it's like, it's obvious that Denjiro was Kyoshiro. It's obvious. It's called napping Kyoshiro. He handled the finances. That was something Denjiro did as well for Oden. So it goes hand in hand. But my guy, he gets out, right? He reveals himself to the world. He's like, you know what? It's time. He goes out, and some guys are talking smack. Say, do you even live in a capital? You're in rags. He beats their ass, and they're like, yo, let us join you. And that's the beginning of him creating the Kyoshiro family and replacing Hyoguro as like the underground boss. And so he's approached by Orochi saying, hey, do you want to work for me? He's like, yeah, sure, buddy. I'll work for you. And then one day, a little girl, because Hiyori ran away from Kawamatsu, she appears in front of the castle, and they're like, yo, there's somebody outside the castle. And he reveals himself to Hiyori. And he says, yo, you probably don't remember me. You probably don't recognize me, but I'm Denjiro. And he was crying tears of joy because I'm sure he thought everyone was dead. But then they talked about his nickname, Napping Kyoshiro, and then it makes sense because he's always active during the night. So therefore, in the day, he's always sleeping because he's tired. He was the Witching Hour Boy. And I talked about I was working on a video about the Witching Hour Boy. I wish I had dropped it, but regardless, it's too late now. Kyoshiro is amazing. Denjiro is great. I loved that reveal. That was so great to me. This man over these years doing what he must until the time is right. And now it all makes sense. Him slicing Hiyori or Kurosaki and letting her get away. Yeah. Because for us, we were trying to figure out what was the relationship there. He could be a Scabbard, but he doesn't look anything like it. He changed his appearance. He even said, they probably won't recognize me, but that's for the better. Him being the dog of Orochi. He said it before. He's like, I'm the dog of Orochi. I'm his dog. It's for a purpose. And you know what we say in One Piece. A man like that that's willing to throw his pride aside for someone else tells me the type of man the other person is. So, absolutely fantastic chapter. I loved it. I loved it. The only thing I said that was, I don't know, I guess you can call it critical, was Kaido and him not killing Momonosuke, but it makes sense, right? With Kaido and his moment with Oden, call it what you want. Could be honor, could be whatever, but love this chapter. Absolutely love this chapter. For you guys that didn't know, there's a reverie happening tomorrow on my friend Mugiwara Matt B's channel. I'll put the link in the description down below. You can check us out. It'll be 7 p.m. Central, where some of the big names in the One Piece community, they come together and they talk about just One Piece in general. I know this chapter hasn't been released officially yet, so we probably won't talk about it too much, probably before the people that read the official come in, but this is such an amazing chapter. I don't know how you're going to keep it, on the wraps, but come check it out. Link in the description down below. But that's it for me. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce for updates. Follow me on Instagram at bragod.ace. Join the Discord if you'd like to get updated currently or weekly when the chapter is out or when a chapter isn't coming out. The Discord is a very great place for not only information, but for socializing. Want to listen to music, just be around people, just join the Discord. I'm telling you, it's a lot of fun there, but be prepared because you're going to be challenged on One Piece knowledge, etc. So I can enjoy the rest of my day now. Chapter was fire. Like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.